Hello everybody, it's Alan. Isn't it crazy how many videos I'm making this week? I'm on a roll, it's summer vacation. So, um, this is part two of my saga about making an appointment for an annual or not so annual gynecological exam. Fun times. So I want to start by saying that I really appreciate the comments that some of you posted on the video that I made a couple days ago about this, because the comments were actually helpful and got me to have new ideas about how to go about this. So thanks, and also I just appreciate the support. So, okay, let me tell you what has happened. So I think it might have been the same night of the day that I made that previous video and made an appointment with this kind of older male doctor in town who they said would see a trans patient, but I was like, I don't know about that because he's active in a church and so forth, as I described in my previous video. So that night of making the appointment, I started to think about the reality of it. I felt faced with the reality of it, which I probably wouldn't have gotten to that point if I had not actually made the appointment. And, I thought to myself, like, oh, like, this kind of old guy is gonna be seeing me and he's gonna be looking at all that, which, of course, because of testosterone, is somewhat a bit different than what he might be used to seeing. As you guys know, like I got a bit more fur, generally speaking, and, um, some like larger size of things down there. So I was like, ooh, that kind of freaks me out to think about that scenario. So, with that feeling, plus seeing some of your comments, like several people commented that they thought I should cancel that appointment and try to find somebody that I felt a little bit better about having the appointment with. So I was like, yeah, I'll just do that. So then I was faced with the prospect of making another call to this OBGYN office with a man's voice. I don't look forward to that. I actually haven't done that yet, even though it's been a couple of days. Um, I actually was going to do it yesterday, and I called, and there was the automated recording, and they said, call during our normal office hours, which are blah 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 Friday, 8 to noon. And I looked at the clock and it was exactly 12 o'clock. So I was like, oh god. So now I have to get up the courage again to call to cancel the appointment on Monday. Um, so my next move was sparked by one in particular, but kind of a couple of comments on my video. A couple of people reminded me of Planned Parenthood. Um, I mean, I'd been there once or twice in the past, just for a typical exam type of thing, because it was convenient, and I had totally forgotten about it. And of course, Planned Parenthood is known for being, or for having people who work there who are liberal, non judgmental, and so forth, because they deal, obviously, with people who want abortions or people who don't have much money, homeless people, and so forth. So I thought, oh, that would probably be really good. So I looked online, and I already knew that there's a Planned Parenthood in my town, thankfully. And so you can make an appointment online. So I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I don't have to talk to anybody on the phone. Yay. So I was like, okay, well, this sounds pretty good. I just want to get the whole thing over with. I just want it to be checked off of my list so I don't have to keep laying in bed at night thinking about what I'm going to do. So I was like, well, I'll make an appointment. So they had an appointment for Friday morning, which was like 2 days from when I was making the appointment. So I was like, I'll just go with it. So I made this appointment online, and then the next day or the next night, which was the night before this appointment, again, I was kind of faced with the reality of it and thinking about what exactly was going to happen when I went in there. And I was thinking, okay, so I made this appointment online, and I don't know who is going to be seeing me, doctor, nurse practitioner, I don't know who exactly they are. So I thought, okay, so I'm going to be going in there. They know that they're giving somebody an annual exam, so it's going to be like they walk in the room and it's like, hi, surprise, I'm trans. And I just thought that doesn't really seem like the best situation to put myself in. I mean, yeah, it's Planned Parenthood. I mean, you would think that it would be fine, but you don't really want to, or I don't really want to put myself in that situation just based off of assumptions and generalities. So I thought, well, this might not be the best way to treat myself, to put myself in a situation where things are kind of uncertain, because I don't want to give myself a bad experience. So I thought, actually, maybe that's not the best idea. So I went online again and canceled the appointment, and this might make me sound like kind of a crazy person, but I think what was going on is that I was not really panicking, but really stressing out and kind of just grasping at whatever sounded good at the time, grasping at whatever I could get. Because, like, previously, when I had been on the phone with this doctor's office where I got the appointment with the older guy doctor, what was going on in my mind was like, okay, they say that this guy will see trans patients, so I should probably just go with it, because then I don't have to make a phone call to some other place, because making the phone calls is really stressful. So I'll go with it. Um, and same thing with Planned Parenthood. I was like, well, Planned Parenthood sounds good. Ooh, I'll go with it. Because thinking of having a longer process, like a more drawn out search of who to go to for this appointment, sounded really stressful. So I was just grasping at something so that I would not have to prolong this journey. But then, in hindsight, I think that that is actually not the best idea, that it's better to prolong the quest, even if the phone calls are really stressful. That is probably better than having a negative experience in the, what do you call it, the room where they see patients with the doctor there when I'm naked. I think a bad phone call is better than a bad experience when I'm naked. So, um, so I guess I've just been acting based off of emotions or based off of a desire to end the process, but actually that's not the most productive. So, so after canceling the Planned Parenthood appointment, what I did next was I actually wrote down a list of steps that I should take in an effort to make this whole thing more logical rather than me just grasping at whatever came up. So I decided to call the facility where I used to have all of my doctors, where I used to live 3 hours away from here, to see if they would take my current insurance. So I did that, and it sounds like they do, although I've heard that with Covered California, which is Obamacare, that whether they take the insurance might depend on where you live. Like, I have Blue Shield insurance through Covered California. So I wonder, even if they say they take Blue Shield, is there a chance that they might not take it, or that my insurance might not pay for me to have a visit there because it's far away from where I live? That's a rumor that I heard, but I have no idea if it's true. I mean, they said that they take my insurance, but you never know until they actually, put in the request or something. So I might need to make another call or something like that. But it sounds like they take my insurance. So I called the office of the doctor that was recommended to me by my endocrinologist at this same facility up there. And this is the one I mentioned in my previous video, the one who has a special interest in LGBT patients. Um, so I made an appointment with her. Now, they didn't have any appointments really soon, so this is in like 6 weeks, which will be in the beginning of August, which is fine. I mean, it's not urgent. Um, it would be nice to just get it over with, but whatever. So I have that appointment, so I feel good about that. Uh, that will work out just fine in terms of logistics. It's not the worst thing to have to drive there. I can deal with that. And so I guess I'll do that unless I get like a really solid recommendation of a local doctor. Now, taking the advice of another person who commented on my previous video, I did actually post on a Facebook group for the local LGBT center. And I'm not sure why I didn't do that before. And another thing that I might do that I don't know quite why I didn't do that earlier is get in touch with our across the street neighbors, because the man across the street is a doctor, and we are basically friends with their family because we've lived to like close together for a lot of years. And the wife is really good friends with my mom, and they're accepting of me, so I could ask them, because the guy is a doctor, like, do you know of local doctors who have experience with trans patients or who are known for being LGBT friendly? Not just like, oh, they're willing to see LGBT patients, but they're actually LGBT friendly, like embracing. So I might ask them. So anyway, yeah, I posted on this Facebook group, which made me a little nervous because there's like 300 people in the Facebook group. So that's a lot of people, and asking an audience of 300 people like, "Hey, do you guys know of OBGYNs who see trans patients?" Like, that's not my first choice of things to ask 300 people, but it's a friendly audience, so I did that. I did get a couple of recommendations, and then also I got a recommendation from somebody that I actually know, but it wasn't clear to me that any of these doctors had actually worked with actual trans men patients who were on T. So that kind of gave me some pause. So that's why I thought I would just go with the one 3 hours away who was specifically recommended to me by another doctor, and who wrote on her website, as I've said before, she wants to work with LGBT patients. So that was kind of more convincing to me than the other recommendations, but it's good that I got some recommendations so that if something sort of falls through with the appointment that I currently have, then at least I have something. So I'm thankful for the recommendations people gave me. I am thankful for the comments on my video. So I feel like I'm on a bit of a better track now, although it's crazy that it's been such a saga. It's a stressful thing having to deal with this as a trans man, but the reason why I'm doing it is because I care about my health, and I think all other trans guys should make a really serious effort to have these exams because even if it's highly stressful, it's better than ending up with a health problem that you might get if you don't ever get checked out by a doctor. So give it a shot, you know? Do what I did. Make those stressful phone calls. A stressful phone call is better than having a health problem. Um, Contact local LGBT organizations or even not so local ones. You know, even if you have to travel, that's better than having a bad health problem that accumulates over time. So, there you go. Okay, well, thanks for your support, everybody. See you later. Bye.